Alright, yo, ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? I hope you're having a fantastic day. So here with the continuation of our Let's Play Higurashi When They Cry series. You may hear some background fan noise. We're in summer, alright? And also, you may notice that I'm actually quite dark, darker than usual. The reason for that is that I don't have the main light on. And the reason for that, I think, is pretty evident. That main light, I've complained about it multiple times, is very, very warm, very, very hot. And especially with how hot it is, that's why we're not having the main light on, which is why I may appear even darker than normal. But I'm also just close to the microphone just so you can hear me over, of course, the fans. But yeah, let us hop right into the Higurashi When They Cry continuation Let's Play. We're gonna load it. Thursday, June 18th, 2020. Basically, we left off last time with his conversation being overheard. It was a very awesome picture, actually, where, like, he's just sitting with his back to, like, the door, and you could just see her, like, looking in, like, So things are creepy, alright? I mean, that's not a new story. Like, things have been getting a lot more creepy. But let us see. The music sounds hopeful. Maybe the gameplay will be hopeful. Maybe the story will be hopeful. I doubt it. But who knows? Who knows? Weariness and a headache. Not a very nice way to start the day. Yeah, I'd be shook. Straight up, I'd be shook. What's wrong? Keiichi. You don't look so swell. I think, just looking at the gameplay audio, it doesn't seem to be too loud, but I'm gonna turn it down just a little, a smidget. Let me grab that. What's wrong, Keiichi? You don't look so well. When did you go to sleep? It seemed that my mom had noticed my sullen state. Yesterday, I kept on waking up in the middle of the night. I mean, hey, I don't blame you in the slightest, my friend. Without a doubt, I felt a presence. I felt the presence of someone standing in front of my door. Oh, shuckleberries. Is someone standing in front of my door? Nope, nobody's there. I told myself repeatedly that it was my imagination and forced myself to try and sleep. Except, not being able to stand it, I gathered up my courage and opened the door. Of course, there wasn't anyone there. We've all had that as a child, right? When we were younger, as a kid, we were like, yeah, shit. Is there, after you watch a horror movie or something, is there someone in front of my door? Is someone about to break into my house and beat me up and slaughter me? Then you open the doors, like, nobody's there. It's all a great quote by a great character that I very much respect and look and for the fear of not spoiling anything for anyone, I very much enjoy. A great quote from that person is, "The fear of death is worse than death itself." And I think that person was paraphrasing a poem, I get it. But I think that quote is true for everyone. Everyone has experienced fear. Everyone has experienced terror. But oftentimes, that fear, that terror is way worse than the actual experience. And that's just the way life sometimes works. Of course, there wasn't anyone there. I think I did this 3 times throughout the night. Or maybe I just didn't remember doing it any more than that. Even though I was able to get to the breakfast table without incident, I still didn't feel at ease. This music is soothing. It might be a cold. I don't really have an appetite. My. You do seem a little warm. Well? That's going to be a fun interaction in school. Can you make it to school? Technically, I did go to a school, but it was mostly self-study. Let me move that a little bit up, just because I can't constantly have to go down here like that. This way I can just kind of sit naturally. Although I am quite close to the screen. Let me just move back a little bit from the table so I can actually stretch my legs. Technically, I did go to a school, but it was mostly self-study. It wouldn't matter much if I missed the day, would it? You can't avoid it forever. It could have been that I hadn't been feeling well for the last few days because I really did have a cold. If I took some medicine and got a good day of rest, I might be able to greet everyone with a smile tomorrow. Well then. Well then. Ding dong. Ding 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 dong. Ba 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 ba. Crazy frog. Startled, I looked back and forth between the entrance and the clock. It was 10 minutes later than when I usually met up with Rena. It was Rena. Yeah, I'd be like, Mom, can you please take me? Can you please walk with me to school? And Rena, just walk with both of us to school, please, Mom. Please, Ma, please. Rena-chan came to get you. What are you going to do? Are you going to take the day off? You can't avoid her forever. Rena was a good girl. She might be somewhat quirky, but she was certainly cute. The lunches she made were delicious, and she always looked out for me. Why should I be scared of something like that? Not someone like that. It wasn't Rena's fault. It was probably mine. It had to be. It had to have been my cold. It just had to be. I'll rest. Sorry. Then I will go send her off for you. Mom headed off to the door. I would have to pass by the entrance to get back to my room. I didn't have the nerve to meet with Rena, so I wrapped myself in a blanket on the sofa and closed my eyes. I was so sleep. Oh no, he's gonna wake up and like she's gonna be standing over him like, "Hello, sonny boy, hello." I was so sleep deprived, I quickly fell into a deep slumber. No, maybe not. I had only intended to lie down for a bit, but it was almost noon when watch us like family be on the ground all bloody and like, okay, we're not going that far, bruv. I called out to my parents, but they didn't seem to be around. On the table, I found lunch prepared and a note. Okay, and a note. Mum and Dad had apparently driven off to somewhere far away. Out of nowhere. It likely had to do with Dad's work. This happened every so often, so it wasn't okay. Fair enough. They would be back for dinner, but might be a bit late. On the note, it said, "The insurance card is in the cabinet. Take it and go to the hospital because he's sick." Okay, I was like, "Where are you going to the hospital?" But take it and go to the hospital. There was also a well-drawn map to the hospital. It's a map too. That's right. I hadn't been there before, so I didn't know exactly where it was. I had a light lunch, although it really was just leftovers from the morning, and just in case, I went to the hospital. He's gonna open the door and Rena's gonna be like right in front of it like, "Hello, I've been waiting." Normally, I'd never be here in the middle of a weekday. Just walking around like this had me feeling guilty. It was an odd feeling. Following my mum's map, I took a road I usually never used. After walking for a bit, the hospital sign came into view. He's gonna find Rena there, so I don't know. This music just seems too calm, too soothing, which is why I think something like crazy is gonna happen. Generally, that's my thought that something crazy is gonna happen because we've had the last two playthroughs have been absolutely crazy for me. So much so that I actually turned the camera on, despite the fact that it's so warm that I don't have the third light on, so I might come off as much darker. The whole scenery might be much darker, but I was like, I don't care. I need to put the camera on because the way this has been going, it's crazy. Irie Clinic was written rather stylishly on the design. The clinic, by the way, if you can hear outside noise, there should be a quarantine going on, but like, hey, nobody here cares about the quarantine. I wouldn't be surprised if Manchester ends up being like some sort of hotspot where like we're gonna have to quarantine longer than anyone else because nobody here gives a flip about the quarantine. The clinic wasn't very big, but based on the scale of the rest of Hinamizawa, it was far too grand. There is a parking lot and even a reserved spot for buses. They must be making a mint. Haven't heard that expression in quite a while. Making a mint. I spaced out in the air-conditioned waiting room until it was my turn to be seen. Maibara-san, please make your way to the examination room. And off he goes. Off he pops. After half-heartedly answering all the chatty doctor's question, he responded with the old, "It's probably a cold." They gave me a shot and 3 days worth of medicine. I thought it was a little overboard, but it would clear away the gloomy feeling I had been having lately. And then it was worth it. Bum bum bum. I settled the build and took a quick trip to the washroom. As I was leaving, I overheard a conversation between some elderly people who seemed to be regulars at the clinic. Of course, I had no intention of eavesdropping. Of course, he didn't. If it just wasn't for that word, we know what that word is gonna be. Onikakushi. Precisely. I wonder. She was still pretty young. She might have just eloped. With whom? Alright. So they're talking about, okay, fair enough. Tomitake. That man from Tokyo who visits every season. That young one with that big camera. So did they, are they implying that they found the body? Didn't you know they were getting along pretty well? Were they talking about Tomitake-san? Of course they are. Who else? I could feel my ears picking up. I don't know about that one. But you have to make preparations before you elope. Leave a note or quit their job or something. It's an elopement because they didn't leave a note or a message. Interesting. So she was a nurse. The thought that I'll never see that young nurse's face again makes me rather sad. Takano, so we're finally getting her name. Takano-san is an upstanding young woman. She'll be fine wherever she goes. So her name was that's pretty much exactly what I just said, my friend. So her name was Takano-san. That one with Tomitake-san. And she worked at this clinic? Oyashiro-sama's shadow was following me everywhere I went. I started listening more closely, but they began talking about fishing and it didn't seem like they were going to revisit the topic. I gave up and left. Thus, even though I was separated from the daily monotony of school, I wasn't able to escape from Oyashiro-sama's shadow. But of course, Oyashiro-sama was the guardian deity of this place, of Hinamizawa. As long as I was in Hinamizawa, I wouldn't be able to escape. Maybe it was because I was walking outside, but my appetite had suddenly returned. I might as well buy a snack for the change from the examination and feel my way home. Contemplating that, I turned onto a familiar... Oh, he's about to meet them all walking home from school, isn't he? I turned onto a familiar street. Yeah. And at the moment, I heard a car horn abruptly honk behind me. Was I really walking so far in the middle of the road to where I'd been like cars? Nah. It's your cop, buddy. I moved farther off to the side, but the horn was still honking at me. I turned around, peeved. Maibara-san. Good. I don't have a hat to tip my hat to, but konnichiwa. It was Oishi-san. He stepped out of his car, AC on full blast, and waved at me. I mean, it's not quite an AC, but still. We don't really have AC in Europe in general. What's up today? School on break? Just not feeling well, so we took the day off. I was about to buy lunch and head back home. That's great. I'm just about to get lunch myself. Would you mind going together? If you're not feeling up for it, then don't mind me. I mean, I think at the moment he could use company regardless. Is he gonna say yeah? I was just going to lie down after going home anyway, and didn't really have a cold. I expect you'd rather avoid using one of the local places. Let's go into town. It's a bit of a drive. Is that alright? I know a pretty good place. I'd finally begun to understand Oishi-san's roundabout way of saying things. He probably wanted to talk to me about stuff that would be difficult to discuss while in here, Mizawa. Precisely. It just the way he talks. They I don't know how they decided to like give people lines, but it feels like they had to have a cop. Like they actually had to like talk to a cop, and like pick his brains apart for the character of Oishi-san. I think that's what they did. Like they actually got a cop. They actually listened to a cop. Like basically did like a method acting essentially. Like okay, well let's put ourselves into a cop's shoes, and that's exactly how we're gonna figure out exactly what he's gonna say. Ow. I'm just sitting terribly, by the way, in case you're wondering. So that's why I'm just moving around like a madman. Ow. Am I still on camera? Yes, I am. Okay, good. I don't have to sit properly for you lot to still see me. Good. Much better. I'm not someone that sits normally. That's my issue. Like, I sit every which way, but not like normal on the seat. I just like, kind of just lounge about like this. I went with. I can hear myself speaking when the headphones are plugged in, so that's why I know when I'm like too loud, when I'm not too loud. So that kind of works brilliantly. I went with Oishi-san riding in his frigid car. It was almost as if the bright sunlight outside was a lie. I'm sorry about calling. I felt like I legit thought like there was a car outside right now, which is why like for a second I like looked back and kind of looked over there, not there where the window is, but that's because of the car noise in there. I'm sorry about calling you so late at night. Last night. Bro, what the fuck? Okay, this is pretty cool. I don't think I've ever used headphones playing this game. But like the audio is very good. Like to the point where I was looking to my right, I was like, what's going on? Like did my fan just go in overdrive? That's what it sounded like, but nah, it's the cars. I'm sorry about calling you so late last night. Did your parents get angry at you? Nah. I called Rina. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, this actually a little bit off-putting right now because I keep looking to the side. I recalled Rina, who had been listening to the phone conversation at all that time, separated from me just by the door. Even now in the brightness of the sunlight, the thought still creeped me out. With a big bump that jolted the car, the road connecting to the city changed from dirt to pavement. Okay? My head swiveled back with a sudden realization. That's right. This was where Tomitake-san died. They've hit a snag on the investigation regarding Tomitake-san. Oishi-san spoke while peering at me from the corner of his eyes. Okay. They believed it was caused by hallucinogens, and that were given how he was clawing out his own throat. But a drug that could cause it to happen so suddenly is extremely hard to come by. But that means that that exists. Okay. Well, I'm not a druggie. The only medicine that I ever take is paracetamol because I'm kind of like the person that is like, yeah, everything will sort itself out. There's no need for medicine. So like, and obviously I don't take drugs besides paracetamol. So I'm like, yeah, all of that doesn't matter to me. So I'm not that familiar with it. But it seemed like that is an actual, well, at least in this world, that's an actual thing that like drugs exist that can cause hallucinogens. But so even if it's hard to come by, the fact that it exists, means that that's likely how it was committed. I keep thinking he's done speaking, but like he just like, and the second I speak, I'm like, he's like, nah, not done, son. Bear in mind, of course, the autopsy was done with that premise in mind, but we didn't find any leads. I see that thing in comics all the time. Drugs like that do exist, but like they found the body relatively quickly, so it's not like they had a lot of time to digest. So I don't know, perhaps not. It exists. Succinylcholine something or other. Well, it's pretty common. I mean, you don't shit a tablet out. You do, like a capsule. You don't shit a capsule out. So I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, that's the key part. But you'll see that there doesn't seem to be any kind of drug that would cause Tomitake-san to react like that. They say the police conclude Tomitake-san just died from the curse. I couldn't help but feel that the police were worthless. Ouch! Ouch! I just wanted the idea of a curse to dissociate it from Tomitake's mysterious death. Tell me about the woman's name, I mean. Unfortunately, that's how it looks like right now. But putting that aside, the cause of death, without a doubt, he was surrounded by a group of people and had taken a beating before he died. And that was no curse, but an accident, and unquestionably involved of humans. Actually, no, that's not Rocky. That's the one. I couldn't think of it. I haven't seen Rocky. Thing is, I've not seen most movies that people would consider like iconic. Like Jaws, for example, I've not seen that. Indiana Jones, I've not seen that. Jurassic Park, not seen that. Rocky, not seen that. I haven't seen The Terminator. I haven't seen RoboCop. Like, there's like a lot of these like iconic movies that people talk about that I've not seen. Because when I was growing up, all I watched was an anime that was on TV, SpongeBob, Zoe 101, Drake and Josh, and in terms of movie wise, it was basically just Disney. just Disney, The Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter. Harry Potter? That made me a bit relieved. We passed in front of a rather desolate but still busy Hinamizawa train station. The car pulled into a restaurant parking lot, and I followed Oishi-san into the shop. We're back to this music. Alright. It was pretty crowded, but there were only adults at this hour, of course. There would be children here in the middle of a weekday. 2 please. I'll make do with non-smoking. This way, please. When you're ready to order, please call me over. We were led by a peculiar dressed waitress to our table. I sat with Oishi-san in the booth. About what? Oh. Is a perf. I see. Is a perf. Nice. Huh? Well, I guess. This shop is always quite busy. Bruff. It's more about the waitresses than the food, you see. Uh-huh. Oishi-san, you're leering. Am I really? I don't have the anime laugh down, alright? Straight up, I don't have the anime laugh down. It's a dessert shop. I love it. Regardless of look at the ice. Look at the ice cream. Regardless of how the waitress looked, the food was decent enough. Finishing our meals, we're talking about some inane topic. Oishi-san, after meal cup of tea coffee arrived at the table. When a cop drinks coffee, that's when shit's about to go down. Yesterday we talked about Hinamizawa's past, didn't we? Yeah, that it was the village of man-eating demons or something like that. I didn't know much about it myself, so I asked my grandmother about it this morning. Oishi-san took out the notepad that was stuffed into his breast pocket. The music just changed immediately. Turns out that Hinamizawa used to be called Onikakushi, or Ogre's Abyss. Onikakushi. That's quite the name. The name is still around. I think I need to... The name is still around. The marsh where the Shinto priest wife drowned herself is still called the Ogre's Abyss. It is said that the depths of that marsh connect to the realm of demons. Of course, nobody had told me anything about such an ominous marsh. And you see? It appears they were both feared and revered. Feared and revered. A respect born of fear. I guess you could say it was kind of deification. A village of inhuman creatures. I'm about to head to bed. Yeah, but it's getting fascinating. Like, I was only going to do like 10 minutes or so, but now we're here half an hour in already. Seems the demons were Senin, or mountain-dwelling mystics of sorts. Villagers... Oishi, I hate you. Can you just like say your whole sentence without stopping halfway through? Villagers with incurable illness will be taken to the Ogre's Abyss to be healed, for example. Being we're calling them demons, Tengu, Longnose, Goblins, or Senin would be a more apt description. That's when they're nice. Don't piss them off. They don't seem like such terrible people, even though they were called demons. But they were still man-eating demons. Did you hear this fool? He was like, he was doing to me. He was doing to me. He was like, but they were still man-eating demons. According to the story my grandma told me, as payment for treating the son's illness, let us seek the mother who brought him here. Was apparently how things went. Like, he's doing to me right now. Jesus. The price of curing his son was herself? That's unsettling. Of course, the brother took his son and ran. Then you see, all the villagers of Onikakushi, their demons, chased, surrounded, and captured them. Well, the entire village, apparently. That sounds like the curse. It's quite a frightening thing to imagine. Let's talk about ice cream. In the end, it doesn't even matter. In the end, it seems both the mother and son were caught uneaten. The end. That sounds like a German fairy tale story, like a Brother Grimm fairy tale story, like Red Riding Hood. Everyone dies, yay! You know, I huff and puff and we all die. And the grandmother's still dead. In this case, this mother and the son are still dead.
その話、矛盾がありますよ。
There's a problem with the story. The moral?
当事者の2人が食べられちゃったんですから、その話が残るはずがありません。
Both witnesses in the story were eaten, so nobody would be able to tell the tale.
ありゃ。
Huh?
昔話はこういうの多いですよね。
There are plenty of old fables like that. In contrast to the ghastly tale, Oishi-san laughed heartily while sipping his coffee.
でもですね。
And the whole mood just shifts. But well,
他の昔話にも結構あるらしいんですよ。
there are quite a few other tales.
鬼ヶ淵の鬼たちが総出で獲物を捕まえに来るというのは。
When the demons from Onikakushi bound together to capture their prey. I recall that Mion said all the villagers united and fought against the dam construction. I saw similarities with how that part of a unification overlapped.
鬼たちの獲物は常に一人で、しかも前もって決められているらしいんです。
They would always hunt down a single person, and they chose who it was going to be beforehand.
Eh?
Huh? That's caught my attention. Sounds like a curse, doesn't it? Oishi-san also appeared to be pondering what it meant.
ばあ様が言うにはですね、鬼の狩りの時には絶対に邪魔をしてはいけない。
My grandmother told me that you must never interfere with the demon's hunt.
家に閉じこもって布団をかぶってろって言うんです。
You should just hole up in your house and hide under the covers, she said.
つまりどういうことですか？
So what does all this mean?
獲物の人を助けたり、かくまったりしてはいけないんだそうです。
It means you must never help or protect the prey. What if Tomitake-san wasn't the prey, but he was trying to defend? Are they like making a party outside or something? Jesus Christ, it's like 1 a.m. It means you mustn't ever help or protect the prey.
鬼の狩りを邪魔しない限り、村人には危害を加えない。
As long as you don't disturb the demon's hunt, no harm will fall upon the villagers.
そういうルールなんだそうです。
It seems there is that kind of rule. Basically, don't help the victims. Pretend you didn't see the atrocities, in other
ル
words.
ールを破ったらどうなるんです？
What happens if you break the rule?
さあ、
Well,
何しろ人食い鬼ですからね。
they are man-eating demons after all. Many parts of that tale caught my attention. Part of the story he told me overlapped with his theory that the entire village was in on the crime. Even if it wasn't the whole village, it was conceivable that the villagers were hiding under the covers and leaving them to die, when there was a group that was on their hunt, wasn't it? I didn't dare speak it.
じゃあ大石さんはやっぱり村ぐるみ、もしくは村人数人の犯行だと見てるんですね。
Then Oishi-san. I guess it looks like it's either an entire village or a group of villagers perpetrating the crime.
前原さんはどう思います？
What do you think, Maibara-san?
ああ、すみません。
Ah, excuse me.
コーヒーのおかわりいいですか？
I'll have a cup of coffee, please. That's what I wanted to know. It seemed that we were both waiting for the other to say that last part. Dicking around. He waited for the waitress to finish pouring coffee before speaking.
去年、サトシ君が失踪した頃から私は不審に感じていたんです。
The music changes again. Last year, I had a nagging feeling when Satoshi-kun disappeared. Oishi-san muttered as he watched the milk swirl around in his coffee.
それで、サトシさんのお友達、つまり前原さんのお友達グループの皆さんをちょっぴりだけ。
So those friends of Satoshi-san, meaning a group of friends, Maibara-san. I had a bit of...
本当にちょっぴりだけですよ。
Really? Just a little bit, okay?
調べさせてもらったんです。
Or background checking done on them. If Oishi-san had said this to me before, I would have gotten angry at him for calling my friends. But now with things have changed. But as I was now, I
と
couldn't.
てもつまらない話になります。
This might sound pretty stupid. Go ahead.
前原さんがつまらないと感じたら いつでもおっしゃってください。
Maibara-san, if you feel that it's stupid, please say
終わ
so.
りにしますので。
I'll just stop. Yeah, but I just had like a shower before this video. And like my foot, both of them, are like extremely dry right now, and I can feel it. So like, you guys can't see it, but like it's over there, like right there. That's like my lotion. So my foot is just gonna stay dry. Oishi-san was wearing the most serious expression that I had ever seen from him. It was as if he was preparing it was as if he was telling me to prepare myself and listen. Listen. There are quite a few things I regretted hearing from Oishi-san, but none of them were as threatening as this. A little voice inside me was screaming like an alarm. Stop, Keiichi. This was probably the last one. I took a deep breath and silenced that voice. I would not run from the truth.
お願いします。
Please. That was all I could utter. Oishi-san stared into my eyes silently for a few moments. After he was certain I was ready, he began.
1年目の事件の被害者は現場の監督さんだったんですが、事件の数週間前に園崎美音さんと取っ組み合いをしてるんですよ。
The victim of the incident in the first year was the overseer. A few weeks prior, he had an altercation with Mion Sonosaki-san.
何度か。
Multiple altercations. Oishi-san had said before that Mion had defied the damn project vehemently. Well, it wasn't hard to imagine how she'd be if she got worked up.
2年目の事件で誘致派の夫婦が事故に遭いましたよね。
In the second year, the married couple who supported the project died in an accident, right?
現場にはお嬢さんも一緒にいたんです。
Their daughter was with them at the time.
それが北条聡子さんなんです。
Her name is Satoko Hojo-san. Huh?
サトコってサトコ
Satoko. Oishi-san told me that my voice was too loud. Okay. So everyone is sort of connected. That's what it seemed like. I realized it as well and quickly quietened down.
3年目には神主夫婦が亡くなられますよね。
The Shinto priest and his wife who died in the third year, you see.
そのお嬢さんが古出里香さんです。
リカちゃんが
4年目に亡くなった主婦はもうわかりますね。北条聡子さんの義理のおばです。
Okay.
当時は聡子さんはご両親を事故で失っていましたので。
Okay. I think they're off the list of suspects. I don't know why, but I feel like they're off the list right now. I know I should be suspecting them even more, but I feel like they're off the list.
被害者宅に
She lived in the victim's house. I could tell my lips were getting dry. I didn't even have the wits to keep my mouth from hanging agape. I'd thought it was nothing but a bizarre incident, one that I could easily distance myself from. But clicking and clacking, it had snuck all the way to my feet.
ちなみに4年目に失踪した北条聡さんは聡子さんの実の兄になります。
Bro. The one who disappeared the fourth year, by the way. He was Satoko-san's older brother. What?
その
Just
ちょっと待ってください。
a second. Took everything I had to finally say that. I gulped down a glass of water and once again wiped my face with a napkin. He's like, calm down, Keiichi, my brother. But Oishi-san was relentless. Instead of waiting for me to finish sorting out my feelings, he started speaking again. The last of the things I shouldn't have heard.
被害者たちはなぜかあなたのお友達グループに全てつながるのです。
All the victims seem to be connected to your group of friends.
偶然に決まってるじゃないですか。
It is not a coincidence, my son. It is not a coincidence, my son. There has to be just a coincidence.
前原さん、静かに静かに。
My brother. Shush.
みんな見てますよ。
Everybody is looking. Mion. Satoko. Rika-chan. So what if they're connected? You're telling me all of my friends? It couldn't be. It just couldn't be. Oh, Rena is different. She's different, isn't Rena is different, isn't she? Rena is connected with the victims at all.
竜宮レナさんは去年まで茨城の郊外にお住まいでした。
Rena Ryugu was living in a suburb of Ibaraki Prefecture up until last year.
まあ確かにいずれの被害者とも直接の面識はありませんが。
Here he goes. He's saying directly, which means that indirectly somehow. Well, it's true she hadn't directly met any of the victims. He said it in a roundabout way. Is he saying she's also connected?
実は調べてみたら竜宮さんは引っ越しの少し前に学校で謹慎処分を受けているんですよ。
Really now? Actually, I looked into her. Before Ryugu-san moved away from Hinamizawa, she was suspended from school.
なんでも学校中のガラスを割って回ったんだとか。
Psycho, 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 psycho. It seems she went through a school building and broke all of the windows.
レナが
The cute little innocent little girl. I knew she was too innocent and too cute. I knew it. Rena did that.
学校中のガラスを割った
She broke all the windows. I've got a fun story to tell actually after this at her school. That same spacey Rena had. I couldn't even imagine it.
3日間の謹慎が明けた後も復学しなかったようです。
It seems that after her 3-day suspension, she didn't return to school.
その間に神経科に通院し、何週間かの間、投薬と医師によるカウンセリングを受けています。
She went to a neurologist and was diagnosed with dysautonomia. Dysautonomia. She was given weeks of counseling and medication. 1 second. 1 second. What is dysautonomia? No, not Sotomura. What is dysautonomia? Dysautonomia. Damn it. What is dysautonomia?
According to National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke, NIH, dysautonomia refers to a disorder of autonomic nervous system function that generally involves failure of the sympathetic or parasympathetic components of the ANS, but dysautonomia involving excessive or overactive ANS actions also can occur.
Okay. So, lack of empathy, lack of sympathy. Interesting. Those are good killers. Those make good killers. She was given a week of counseling and medication. I wonder if it was something like a nervous breakdown. I had heard that it happens to people who are really methodical or overly sensitive. Neither of those matched Rena's easygoing personality.
でですね、そのカウンセリングをした医師のカルテにレナさんの会話内容が記載されているんですがね。
Here we go. And in the counselor's medical report, he recorded all of the conversations he had with Rena-san.
その中に出てくるんですよ。
It shows up.
結構。
And quite a bit at that.
何がです
What did? I pressed forward carelessly. There couldn't be anything more for me to regret.
出てくるんですよ。
She mentioned...
親代様って単語が。
I just got chills. Like straight up, I just got chilled. It feels like my forehead just tightened up and I just got chills. She mentioned the word Oyashiro-sama. It felt like someone's stone cold hand was caressing my back. Hey, I wouldn't say that, but like I got like legit chills on both my arms and my forehead felt like it just tightened up a little bit. It felt like someone's stone cold hand was caressing my back. Why? Why had Rena spoken of Oyashiro-sama before she even came to Hinamizawa?
親代様っていう幽霊みたいなものがですね、夜な夜な自宅にやってくるっていうんです。
Well. Burn her down. I don't care if she's a child. Burn her down. Seems that the Oyashiro-sama she spoke of was like a ghost, appearing in her house every night.
枕元に立って自分を見下ろすんだって。
Standing over her pillow, looking down at her. Looking down at her. Oyashiro-sama. I don't know. My mind froze. I couldn't process what I was being told.
その後しばらくしてひなみ沢に引っ越されたんです。
A while after that, she moved to Hinamizawa.
ああ、そうそう。
Ah, that's right.
レナさんはよそ者なんかじゃないですよ。
The whole time we thought she was an outsider. She's not an outsider. Huh?
住民票で分かったんですが、竜宮一家は元はひなみ沢の住民です。
Shizzle just got real. According to their residency register, the Ryuga family used to reside in Hinamizawa.
レナさんがちょうど小学校に上がるときに茨城へ引っ越されたんです。
They moved to Ibaraki just as Rena-san entered elementary school. My mind went completely blank. It was similar to the static you'd see in a blank TV channel. My ears began ringing as I lost all sense of comprehension. That's called tinnitus, mate.
前原さん、
My brother.
大丈夫ですか？
Are you alright?
もう終わりにしましょうか。
Shall we stop? Shall we stop? Does that mean there is more to it? Shall we stop? Oh, those words brought me back. I couldn't let it end. Yeah, I couldn't let it end. This was supposed to be 10 minutes. I was supposed to record for 10 minutes. Now we're here for 47 minutes, damn it. And now I know about the Rena. And then how about the last victim, Tomitaki-san? He was friends with all of them. He was part of the club. He literally just joined the club. You know that. Irritated, I let out one final reprisal. All of them. Have you forgotten, my brother-san? Precisely. Didn't you all spend the night of the festival together quite merrily? Quite a few of the officers saw you enjoying yourself. Now there was nothing I could respond with. I felt silent as my brain turned to mush. You need to stop smoking all that burning bush. We should get going. He's gonna get home and his family's gonna be gone forever. Ah, my brother, did you take your afternoon medicine? I had completely forgotten about the medicine I had gotten today until Oishi-san said that. I got another glass of water and we left the shop after I chugged it down. Glug, glug, glug. We got in the car and returned to Hinamizawa via the rough road. I never really paid attention to when I was on my bike, but the cars normally shake this much. It was almost as if the road was desperately trying to tell me something and get out of there. Badoomp. The big jolt was from the difference in elevation of the road when it changed from cement to dirt. I was certain that I heard Tomitaki-san scream. I sat in silence, just letting myself be shaken by the car. I'll drop you off at your house. Watch like a rain in front of it, like waiting for him. Correct. You missed school because you were ill. Correct. And now he probably feels ill. My apologies for the long conversation. Why did you talk to me? I blurted out the question. Really just blurted it out. I didn't expect an answer. Damn, son. I did check with you first, didn't I? If we should just stop. So professional. Such a professional cop telling a child everything. Not that. Why did you reach out to me? I understood quite well that Oishi-san was investigating this string of suspicious incidents. But why was he telling me all this? I knew nothing and I couldn't help. Everything Oishi-san spoke of was news to me. First of all, what could I, having just moved here, possibly know? That's the only reason why he can trust you. But I think you should have gone to your parents. By chance, if there was a reason for Oishi-san to reach out to me, then it would have to be because you were close to all of them. That I was part of Mion's circle of friends who looked suspicious to Oishi-san. They're all children though, but okay.
私ね、今年で定年なんです。
Oh, he's retiring. Oh, you're retiring, alright.
定年したらばあ様の意向で引っ越しちゃう予定なんですよ。
I plan on moving away after retiring as my grandma wants.
だからこそ在職中にこの事件だけははっきりさせてお
Ouch,
き
I
たい。
can't sit anymore. So while I'm still on the case, I want to bring the truth behind this incident to light.
で大石さんは疑ってるんですよね。
So Oishi-san, you suspect them, don't you?
みんなを
All of them. Oishi-san didn't really give a response. It felt a little late, but I thought it was his way of showing a bit of consideration for my feelings.
これはこの道30年の勘です。
Well, if he's saying that, who am I to disagree? I thought there's absolutely no way now, after all we've known. How are you gonna go back to school? That's my real question. This is mostly my intuition from 30 years on the job.
前原さん、危ないのはあなたなんですよ。
Well, my brother son, you're the one in danger. Huh? I wanted to reply with, that's absurd, but in my downtrodden state I couldn't bring myself to say it.
私は今年で定年ですから、来年の綿流しの日にはもういません。
Precisely, I'll be retiring this year, so I won't be there with Nagashi next year.
だから今年中に決着をつけたいのです。
So, I want to settle things. In other words, he was insinuating that on the next Watagashi, I might be the victim.
所長からも注意を受けています。
I've been warned by the chief as well. But then, what was the talk that Reina and Mion had? That's my question now. I've been warned by the chief as well.
一連の事件は個々に解決しているから蒸し返すなというんです。
Each incident in a string of cases has been solved. Don't bring it up anymore. Also, I was
こ
told.
れは一種の圧力です。
There's the pressure I'm facing.
圧力って何のですか？
Pressure? From what?
ひなみ沢の誰かです。
Someone in
着き
Hinamizawa.
ました。
We arrived. Alright, so clearly there is much
この
more.
辺でいいですか？
Clearly there is much more. We've arrived. Is this fine? After some time, the car finally reached the path to my house. The clock grew at 2 p.m. I was surprised a little time had passed since we ate. It was hot outside the car. Isaac about to meet them all while walking home. The chirping of the Higurashi hurt my ears.
今日の話はすべて忘れてくださっても結構です。
This fool just pulled the gap. He just pulled the gap. Like, your father is... Doing the, I won't say it out of fear for swap. But like, your father is... Tuk, tuk, tuk. Everyone's shocked. No way! Masaka! Oh, you know what? Everything I said that was supposed to be a secret. Just forget all that. He literally just pulled that card like a... Just forget all that.
ですが、私は捜査を続けますよ。
But I am still going to keep investigating.
親代様のたたりは今年で終わらせます。
I will end Oyashiro-sama's curse this year.
何かあったら連絡しろってことですか？
So you're saying I should contact you if anything happens? You should make sure your parents are still alive, bruv.
いいんですよ。
It's fine.
前原さんがどうしても連絡したくなった時だけでいいんです。
Just contact me when you feel you have to, my brother-san. I wasn't collected enough to understand Oishi-san's roundabout way of saying it.
ゆっくり休んでください。
Be sure to take it easy.
病気でお休みの時によくない話ばかりして申し訳ありませんでした。
I'm sorry for throwing all of this at you while you're still taking a day off because you're sick. Sound like they're either fighting outside or they're having a party outside. I can't tell which one it is. I didn't really give any sort of
私
response.
はいつでもあなたの味方です。
I'll always be by your side.
それだけは信じといてくださいよ。
If anything, believe that.
それじゃあ。
I'll be off now. I don't know, off he goes. The tires crunched over the dirt road as the car made a U-turn and disappeared into a cloud of kicked-up dust. I felt like I was watching a boat only throw me a lifesaver in shark-infested waters before disappearing into the distance. That's kind of exactly actually the kind of boat. That's a great analogy, because I feel like that's the case, honestly. That was the first time I thought Oishiro-san was being unfair. Telling me I was going to be the next victim. They're just saying, nah, the contract can finish. It's all jolly, mate. You're gonna walk home like they're all gonna stand in front of your door or some shit like that. This wasn't a criminal investigation. We basically told him, he was fishing. Bait. And that was just the bait dangling off the line. Would the fish be the perpetrator? Or was it really just Oyashiro-sama's curse? Either way, the bait would be swallowed whole.
畜生俺死にたくないよ
Like, if he was an adult, I would understand all that. Like, he's a kid, bruv. like using a kid as bait. That's hardcore. That's hardcore. Damn it. I don't want to die. For some time, I could do nothing but stare at the puddle of water left behind by the AC from the car. That part of the story is over. And that's also where I'm gonna be saying it is over, at least for me. I don't know whether I'm gonna like leave it at here for this video, or whether I'm gonna like add more parts to it. I'm not sure. I think an hour is probably actually a pretty decent length, I would say. Overall though, I'll just give you my thoughts on this last hour that transpired. Keiichi is screwed. like him being sick worked for this day. It worked for this day. He's not going to be able to avoid them forever. He's not going to be able to avoid them forever. Oishi-san may be on his side, but Oishi-san is not going to school with him. Oishi-san may say, oh yeah, you know what, they're gonna kill you at the next festival if they're gonna kill you, but don't worry, you're not gonna die until then. We didn't see Rena. And now we know that all of them are related somehow in some way, shape or form to the victims of the past. Now he's saying that according to his 30-year-long experience that they are at fault and that or they are responsible, and that he is next, that Keiichi is next. I don't think so. I think because there are like 8 chapters, right? This is chapter 1, right? My thing is that because it's all hinting towards that, I don't believe it. I'm the kind of person that you could say it's foreshadowing for later. Oh yeah, he did tell you, haha, you didn't listen. But like, I think it's a red herring. I think we're supposed to feel that way. After everything that we've seen, we're supposed to feel that way. The key aspect of it is, though, if you look back on it, we only heard like the tail end of it. The talk between Rena and Mion. I think that is crucial. I think that is crucial. And I don't think it's those that... I don't think it's the children that are responsible. I think it is someone that is trying to get at the children, if that makes sense. Like, say, someone that used to be part of their group that is jealous that all these people, you know, are in their lives, whereas that person, the killer, isn't. Something like that, you know? But I could be reaching. I could just be innocent, you know, believing these cute little girls. Who knows, alright? I don't know, alright? It could be anything. And for that exact reason, I'm going to say I'll see you all in the next one, everyone. This was supposed to be a 10 minutes. Now we've been here for 60 minutes. But that's sometimes how life is. See, I didn't expect things to be, you know, going this way. They did. It had me hooked. Now I'm probably going to go to sleep. So... I'm Sleep. I'll see you all in the next one, everyone. Until then, have a nice day. Peace out. And as always, bye. Hey everybody, if you like this video, please be sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And if you want to see more of these kind of videos, be sure to check out Patreon to get 1 week early access as well as full length. Until next time everybody, peace out and have a nice day.